Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Thursday afternoon. Hope you're well, hope you're looking after yourself and you're keeping out of that miserable rain. Sorry for the late delay on today's sort of updates. Got plenty still to talk about, and so I will be uploading more than just the one video that you're watching right this second. Give you also a bit of an update ahead of tomorrow. I'm going to the game, so you aren't going to get sort of like a late afternoon, early evening kind of upload like I normally do. I'm going to be aiming to get you one in the morning, about at 8:30, 9 a.m. UK time, and then maybe something around 1 o'clock, 1:30, something like that, before I set off towards the game and to the pub and everything. So plenty to talk about in this video. We're going to be looking ahead to the game tomorrow, the 8 p.m. kickoff at home to Burnley in the FA Cup. Let's talk a little bit about some injuries, talk about some forms, predictions. You get the routine of how I do these things. Do have some really fascinating news around Johan Lang and Rob McKenzie and the scouting that they've done in Serie A, because a name has reappeared in Samuel Iling-Junior, as well as update around the Radu Dragusin situation, as well as a return to training for a key first teamer. So plenty to get into, plenty to talk about. Just want to say, if you're new, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And let's jump in. Let's quickly talk about Burnley tomorrow. So 8 p.m. kickoff, FA Cup game. I love the FA Cup. I don't know anyone that doesn't love the FA Cup. It's a cup that is magical. It throws up upsets when you least expect it. You know, a League Two team somehow beating a Premier League team. You know, and I absolutely love it. And it's a competition I think Spurs have to go for this year. We're not really playing much in January, so between obviously tomorrow and Manchester United, you've got plenty of days to recover. So I think there's something that we need to be going out there in this game and putting out the first team and the best first team possible. Obviously, barring, if someone's not fit enough to play 60 odd minutes, then obviously that's a bit different. You'll see why in a minute, but it's something that we should really be focusing on. I think, look, we didn't do very well in the EFL Cup, the League Cup, the Carling Cup, the Capital One Cup, whatever you want to call it. We didn't do very well in that competition, and because of that, in theory, you're down to two competitions, being the fact that you don't have European football this year. You've got the Premier League and you've got the FA Cup, and I think, look, the Premier League is a slog. It is a cruel mistress in terms of you think you can be flying, you think you're going to get it done, and something happens. And that's why when you look at the FA Cup, you don't even have to be the best team to win it. You don't even have to be the most informed team to win it. You just got to be there or thereabouts when the time calls. So Spurs have had a weird time in the FA Cup. I think it's over 30 years since we've been to the final of it. That's too long. I'm not saying we have to be there every year, but come on, 30 years. Burnley being first up, look, it's a good quality game. It's a Premier League tie. It's a good quality game. I think there's more Premier League ties. I know Arsenal, Liverpool, because it's at home to the Emirates. I know that's one of the games, but I don't know any others personally. Obviously, I know you've got Newcastle, Sunderland. That's a real momentous occasion as well. But when we look at Spurs, Burnley, look, we've played them already this season. We won 5-2 away. It was one of the games where I think it was one of the first few games of the season, and we were rocking and rolling at the time. I think Romero scored that absolute belter from outside the box, into the top corner. I think that was at a time where Romero, I think, was actually top goal scorer in the league or something like that. It was a weird time back in the earlier part of the season. But look, we're going to have to be up for it tomorrow, because it's a cup game. Everyone's always up for it. It's a cagey affair. If you've ever watched an FA Cup semi-final or a final, you know that sometimes those games are absolute dross. You don't want to be watching them because they're boring sometimes. Obviously, put Spurs into an FA Cup semi-final, there's always drama. So let's look at Spurs Burnley. So yes, last 5 games, Spurs won 4 and they have lost 1. Obviously, the last one playing was the 5-2 win away to Burnley. Burnley's win came in the February of 2022. It was a 1-0 win at home. That doesn't surprise me. Weren't very good at the time. Burnley, I think, look, Burnley have had it's been a tough start to life in the Premier League. But if you actually watch Burnley, and Vincent Kompany really got them humming last year in the Championship, they're a good team to watch. There's none of this, let's sit back with 15% possession, a la Sheffield United. It's, we're going to get on the ball, we're going to try and play our own stuff. And I'm I love it when teams do that. I love it when teams are confident in themselves to say, look, yeah, you might be the better team, but we think we can do you some damage. Burnley, bit of team news. Sanderberg got a red card at Villa Park, which means he'll miss the cup tie. They also said that Luka Colosho, I might have got that wrong, but Colosho, is set to miss out with an injury. And they said that Jack Cook and Michael Benson are both doubts. So a little bit of injury news for them. When we look at Spurs, obviously, this is the first game of the African Cup of Nations window, we'll call it. So we're missing Papa Massar, we're missing Yves Bissouma. Obviously, Sonny being gone as well. The three guys gone. Obviously, Romero still unfit. Maddison getting closer. They said Brentford at the end of the month is a good possibility. They said if things really go well, you might see him feature against Manchester United, but they said more likely Brentford. They said Solomon is actually quite close to being back, which is a nice bit of news as well. You know, if you lose in Sonny, at least you can put someone else into the mix there. When you look at the rest of the team, really, Romero, they said towards the end of the month, potentially a little bit before it, but they said towards the end of the month being Brentford. But the rest of the team is quite fit. It's quite healthy and fit. Kulusevski will be back after his suspension for the last game of 5 bookings as well, which is nice. But I want to talk to you about the main guy that's back, the first teamer, Mickey van der Ven. So let me read you what came out around Mickey van der Ven. It came from Paul O'Keefe last night. And he said that Mickey van der Ven's return to the first team is imminent, and will make a decision whether to include him in the first Friday squad or Manchester United, barring any late setbacks. Maddison's still assessing, and probably Brentford more likely than United currently. Solomon is close too. So, look, it's great news. He's going to be back and fit for Manchester United. That's first and foremost. He's back, which is good. So if you're going to get another centre-half in, you're going to have 2 centre-halves playing against Manchester United. And as much as people like Emerson and Davies, and I think they're good lads, I wouldn't mind 2 centre-halves playing personally. You know, we do look a much different team when Romero is at centre-half than we had 2 fullbacks. So, yeah, it looks like this might be the last game where we see Davies and Emerson starting together for a little while, which is nice. But the fact he's back is massive, to be honest. He has been training supposedly most of the week, which is good. I would say, look, if he starts, he's not playing the full game. Or you bring him on with like half an hour to go, depending on the situation. But if we can get him a few minutes, I think that's going to be crucial. Just get some match fitness back into those legs. He's been gone now since, early November? It's a long time away. So good to hear that on Mickey van der Ven. My score prediction, by the way, lads, I'm going to go 3-1 Spurs. I've just got a feeling that give me a little bit of Richie, give me a little bit of Johnson, be good. But also, by the way, it'd be good to see a little bit more youth play in this game. I'm not saying I have to see 90 minutes of someone, but I want to see half an hour of someone. I want to see 15, 20 minutes of someone else maybe. Let's get a little bit more youth into the team. Let's talk some transfers anyway. I just want to quickly start with the Radu Dragusin situation because it's the most prevalent, it's the most most furthest complete chance that we have. Fabrizio Romano via Kickstreaming said that Tottenham and Genoa are negotiating the payment structure for Dragusin. So look, if we're going to be honest, that's a really promising situation. Look, I know Dragusin's agent has been talking here, there and everywhere about, we don't know anything about interest. We've not had anything said to us. Can't lie. He also has been saying a lot of things for a few months. You kind of have to take what he says with a pinch of salt, which is quite interesting that you wouldn't believe an agent as much. Fabrizio Romano said that Dragusin's always said yes. They've had a verbal offer put in Spurs. They're a little bit short. But to be honest, if you're talking about payment structure, this kind of looks like this deal is starting to speed up. So hopefully, Sunday, Monday, maybe. I said the weekend, but it doesn't feel like it's progressed enough over the last couple of days. But maybe the weekend it'll be done. And to be honest, I would hope it is because that'll be the 7th of January. Dragusin's been there or thereabouts for over a week now. We need to start speeding this deal up. We need him in and as much time given to him ahead of that Manchester United game, for sure. I want to talk around the Samuel Iling-Junior thing. So, came from Alistair Gold, and he was talking about how Johan Lang and Chief Scout Rob McKenzie were both scouting Dragusin when Genoa played Juventus Well, that's interesting. And it said, as well as the Romanian, the duo would have been looking at, among others, 20-year-old Islington-born winger Samuel Iling-Junior, who has been of interest to Tottenham in previous transfer windows. So look, it's not guaranteed we're going there. I still don't really know as to where Spurs go with it. Now, I said to people, because people think, oh, Jota's done, it's dead and buried. It can happen. It can spark up in a day that Spurs actually then go, no, we do actually want him. Let's put a feeler out to him, right? Just because they're not at the top of the list doesn't mean they don't go for him, right? And I've always been frank. Jota is a good player, but I feel like we can do a lot better. Iling-Junior is a good player. I feel like we can do a bit better than that as well. Bakayoko's my guy. I think Bakayoko's quite clear of both of them. But that's just my opinion on that situation. But the fact that, look, they're still banding around with Iling-Junior. They're still banding around with Jota. I don't think they even truly know what they want. And that's the key thing we need to remember. I don't even think they know what they want, right? I think we know what centre-half with. Obviously, you've got Dragusin. We know that. Midfielder. I have an update around midfielder in my next video. We don't know about that, truly. And attacker, we don't know. And I'm getting a little bit... look, it's the 4th of January, so I'm not going to panic. But I did kind of think we might see at least a midfielder or an attacker option become, ahead of the queue. They jump to the head of the queue. That's who they're going for. They're starting to do talks and things like that. So I'm not sure. I think I was hoping for a really big January transfer window. It still could be. I've just got a weird feeling, and I'll talk about it in my next video. But anyway, guys, at the end of this video, hope you enjoyed. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit me in the comment section below your thoughts and feelings. Obviously, about the Radu Dragusin payment structure chat going on. Samuel Iling-Junior still being scouted, as well as the Burnley game tomorrow, as well as Mickey van der Ven being back. I want to know thoughts and feelings about all of that. Subscribe if you know. We did hit 1,600, so thank you very much to everyone that did subscribe. And hit the bell notification for more. But anyway, guys, at the end of the video, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Take care, guys.